Greetings and salutations. My name is Skipper the 14th, and welcome back to another episode of the Test of Time series. In the last episode, we entered the Industrial Era, making more significant progress towards our chosen victory condition of culture. And in this episode, we will continue to stack up modifiers, create great works, and so on and such forth. All of our cities have All of our cities have Inquisitors now, so we can take the automatic purchase off. Good, because I think some of our newer cities still waiting on those, and we're gonna have again. Can also start taking these units, at least away from outside of the cities and perhaps position them. I don't think there's really necessarily anywhere these units have to be right now. But this does remind me of one mechanic I wanted to touch on. I thought about it in the last episode, but I totally forgot. Was the way upgrading units works in this game. The way upgrading units in Civ 5 works is slightly different to how it works in 3, 4, and 6. They brought the old mechanics back for 6. I think there's a reason why, excuse me, why it is the way it is in Civ 5. And I'll get to that in a second. But in previous and following Civ titles, Civ Beyond Earth notwithstanding, because it uses the 5 engine, when you upgrade a unit to like the next form of the unit, like the next level in the tree, like going from a warrior to a swordsman to a medieval swordsman to a musketman, so on and so forth. If you like skip a tier, like if you have a warrior, you don't upgrade it into a swordsman, and then you upgrade it in, and then you unlock the whatever the medieval era equivalent is. It's different in like every game. Excuse me. You can just upgrade that warrior into the medieval unit without having to upgrade it into a swordsman next. In Civ 5, you have to take each unit through each step of the path every single time. So these, we unlocked gunpowder. That was, I think, the last tech we just unlocked, which unlocks musketmen. And since legions can eventually upgrade into musketmen, you'd think we could upgrade them directly into musketmen, but no, we had to upgrade them into longswordsmen, which is the next step first. And the reason I think this is, I could be wrong, but this is why I think it works this way, is that in Civ 5, a lot of unique unit abilities are not like inherent to the unit like they are in 4 or 6. Like, for example, in Civ 4, the Greek unique unit, the Phalanx, is an axeman unit that has a bonus against chariots because axemen normally have a weakness to chariots, but they made this one an axeman, but because it uses spears, it gets like a bonus against chariots, which makes you wonder. Well, that's a discussion for when we get to Greece in Civ 4. My point is, in Civ 4, the Greek axeman replacement has a bonus when defending against when being attacked by a chariot, and that's not like a promotion it gets and like it keeps when it upgrades. It's just something inherent to that unit, and it loses that ability when it upgrades into whatever the next unit is, mostly because it doesn't really need it, right? And in Civ 6, a lot of unique unit abilities are inherent to that unit, and they is lost when you upgrade that unit into the next stage. In Civ 5, though, a lot of unique unit abilities are coded as promotions. So I discussed promotions back in Civ 4. When you gain experience with a unit, you can choose a promotion, which is a little modifier that affects its damage or its abilities in some way. And you can see here this legion does have one. It has embarkation promotion. A lot of special abilities to units in Civ 5 are just coded as promotions, for one reason or another. I don't know why necessarily it's why they chose to do it that way. I'm not a game designer, but because a lot of unit abilities are coded as promotions, I think that is why each like why a unit has to go through each stage individually. And if that doesn't make sense, let me explain a little bit further. So when you upgrade a unit into another unit, and that other unit that you're upgrading into has a, some kind of special ability, like it's a unique unit that gets a special, you know how to say, a bonus against tanks or whatever. um like you will get that when you upgrade the unit, and you get to keep it when you upgrade the unit again. So if our legions had some kind of special promotion on them, which they don't, I unfortunately can't show that, but um say if they had a promotion here that gave them, I don't know, bonus against barbarian units, if we upgraded them into the next level, they would keep that promotion when they upgraded, because it's a promotion, and promotions are always kept on upgrading. In all games that have promotions are always kept when you upgrade the unit. So I think that's why they force you to go through each step, so you can keep picking up all the, so you always have a chance to keep those upgrades when you those special abilities when you upgrade units. I think that's the reasoning. I could be entirely wrong, but that's just my speculation. Anyway, that rant over. Also makes upgrading more expensive, because you have to pay for every single stage every single time, instead of just a slightly increased cost for going through multiple stages at once.
Wherever we
There
look,
is
the
chemistry.
work of the chemist.
Gives us cannons and a production boost on mines and quarries, and the great engineer special tile improvement that we haven't seen because we haven't gotten one yet. um, so mines are now giving 2 production each instead of 1. Um, is the time to start sending food around, because production is less of an issue. Now we're going to fertilizer, which gives food production on pastures, plantations, and farms that are not on freshwater, as well as terrace farms that are not on freshwater. That's the Incan unique improvement. Why did we ban sugar? Why was that? Another thing with the World Congress, AI loves to ban random luxuries for seemingly no reason. Um, Arts funding. This would actually help us. This makes writers, artists, and musicians generate faster at the cost of scientists, engineers, and merchants being earned slower. That's usually it's like it's usually not a good thing. Lowering the just because great scientists and great engineers are both really good, great merchants or whatever. But since we're specifically going for a culture victory, it would behoove us more to get those great works up faster. Yeah. Okay. So I'm assuming either Ethiopia proposed it, or Ethiopia cared about that, because they're literally the only people who voted for it, and they voted yes. Everyone else voted on our promotion, and our proposal. Excuse me. Um, which is notification that we stopped getting citrus from Hiawatha, and universities want it. So it was Neapolis and Ravenna. Now Now, cruelly, Rome wants sugar, but we can't get it. Um, well, Brussels has it, but it won't give us any happiness. Milan wants salt. It looks like Huns have salt, but they don't. Oh, they do have excess. For gems. That our only copy, yes. They give you like 10 gold per turn instead. Would that be good? That's good. All right. Not giving you my only copy of a luxury resource. And then dies. Yeah, this is a feature from enhanced UI. You can both like hover over this little icon shows up when a city is demanding a luxury resource. So you a know what your cities want, and b you can hover over that and see where you can get it. Looks like pretty much every civilization that has it has only one copy, but there are two city-states there, Ragusa and Mogadishu, who we can possibly get it off of. Is Ragusa down here? How much influence? 71. Yeah, there's no way we're getting that much quickly. Who else had it? Mogadishu. It's another time. Mogadishu. They want a great profit, which is. Are we sending our great merchant up there? We're sending them to Riga. Where's Mogadishu? Nothing else. We can use the money we get from that trade to give to Mogadishu. Where is? Oh, it's right there. That would have been a better place to send it. Yeah, Ravenna and Neapolis love the king. So does Mediolanum. Now that we have those luxury resources, so they will grow faster. That's you can kind of consider it a mini game, like finding the luxury resources that your cities want. Also, when I touched on gunpowder, I forgot to mention that one of the changes I made is that I changed the way the anti-cavalry line works. So spearmen, pikemen, spearmen and pikemen, like the anti-cavalry units you can see here. In the base game, actually, I think in like the base game without any expansions, they didn't upgrade into anything, or they upgraded into like anti-tank guns. Like, you had to wait a really long time to upgrade them in anything. Like, once they hit pikemen, they just, like, stayed as pikemen until you got to anti-tank guns all the way down here in the modern era, I think. No, the atomic era. Yeah, anti-tank gun. Like, you had to wait from here at civil service at the beginning of the medieval era all the way here to combined arms at the beginning of the atomic era. 3 full eras later to be able to upgrade pikemen in the base game before any of the expansions. And in one of the expansions, I hope it was the first one that did this, they introduced the Lancer unit, which was here at Metallurgy. So instead of waiting 2 full eras, you had an era and a half to upgrade them. And oh, that's about like an era's worth of technology because it's the end of the Renaissance era. When you get to pikemen, excuse me, when you get to Lancers, which are here in Metallurgy. But I changed it so that instead of upgrading to pikemen, they upgrade into a unit called the Pike and Shot. I just stole that idea from Civ 6. I'm gonna live with you. I don't necessarily think it's upgraded at it happens at like the same time you get musketmen, like we do here in this mod. But and it uses the unit assets of the old Spanish unique unit, the Tercio, which replaced the musketmen. So I just took that unique unit, made it into a generic unit, replaced the Lancer with it, and gave the Spanish a unique building called the Mission. Again, we'll see all that when we get to Spain in the series. But the reason I did that was because Lancers are probably the worst unit in, like, the worst generic unit in the base game, because they're a mounted unit that has a bonus against other mounted units, and like there's basically nothing at their power level that they can counter other than themselves, because the mounted unit before them, the knight, I think the Lancer was like strength 26 and the knight is strength 20, and you already have pikemen that can counter knights fairly well. Not great, but like that's what they're there for, and that's what they do. Like, if you're waiting for lancers to counter knights, like you're in deep doo doo because they're a full era later. And then the next mounted unit, which is literally the next tech after metallurgy, right here, is strength 34, which is a lot more than the lancer at, again, I think it's 26 or 28. So it's like they just have like no utility whatsoever. The only thing they counter is themselves. And like they're not even really that good as mounted units because like they don't have a lot of damage, and you need to like either like hard to build them or upgrade them from pikemen, which are not a mounted unit. So if you've already been building mounted units, like you're not gonna be, it's just like they had no niche. They were just useless, and they didn't upgrade into another like mounted or even mobile unit. Again, they upgrade into anti-tank guns, which is still fairly far away. But like they're just like they were just useless is my point. So I replaced it with a unit that hopefully will be more useful. a pike and shot, a standard movement infantry that is available earlier than the lancer, is slightly weaker, but I think still fulfills the purpose it serves better than its counterpart did. So that's one of the probably the more notable changes. And all the units that replaced the lancer, there were 3 unique units that replaced lancers. I basically made them replace other units. The 3 of them are um, the Hakapelita of the Swedish, the Winged Hussar of the Polish, and the Sipahi of the Ottomans. The Sipahi I made replace the Knight because I think based on my understanding of the history of the Sipahi, it was like earlier than it would have been like around that level of the end of the tech tree, and the Hakapelita and the uh Winged Hussar I made the replace the cavalry because again I think they were around. um I mean I think based on the history they were like time wise in the Renaissance era, but like unlocking cavalry is like again literally the next tech after metallurgy, so it wouldn't you wouldn't be waiting that much longer to upgrade them anyway, and that also means they're stronger and more useful because cavalry are actually good and lancers are garbage. So and knights are also better than lancers, just because they like do their jobs, they like do fulfill their roles. um Again, if you want if you would like a comprehensive list of the changes I've made to the mod, I will provide that when I eventually like finish it and upload it to the Steam Workshop. But got to Riga first. Edlin's is like scooping up all the city states. Well, not all of them. He's got quite a few of them. Um, I'll just throw that down now. Um, nice chunk of change, and that'll at least get us some influence with was that Mombasa, Riga. Um, yeah. So it'll get us a little bit with them, and so that'll give us a small amount of food in Rome. So, not worthless. Not a poor investment, I should say. And then we can use that to give to who was it that had Mogadishu? Had, yeah, our relationship has already decayed quite a bit. Now we're allies with them. We won't be allies for very long because there's a natural decay. But we will at least get the resource for long enough to proc the We Love the King Day modifier. I'm gonna start queuing up factories in all my cities because they are important for the reasons I mentioned last episode. They give a substantial boost to production, and building 3 of them will allow us to choose an ideology, which is an important set of policies and such, although we probably won't dip too far into them until we finish exploration. We've only got 2 policies in that anyway. Sure, I don't mind being friends with everybody. Yeah, I tend not to play very warmongery in Civ 5 just because 5 does not reward very aggressive warmongery play, at least early on. Late game is usually when war pays off more because you have a lot more tools to counter the negative effects of warfare and combat. And I could use some workboats. Or just end up buying those. They are cheap. The gold to sea trade routes will be better because we actually have sea trade routes and not doing a lot of naval combat. So we're not earning any admirals. Beggar. World's Fair update. Oh, right, World's Fair. I forgot. The World's Fair is a sort of shared, I guess, wonder thing. can set your cities to put production towards it, and based on how much production you put into it, compared to everyone else, you get like certain bonuses. It's already 50% done, which means we gotta hurry up and start throwing production on it, because otherwise we might miss out. Because it has like I don't think it ever says in game like how much production it takes to finish it, but like um yeah, once like enough production has been sunk into it from everybody who's like working on it, it will complete, and like people who have uh put production towards it will get rewarded based on how much they put into it in comparison to everyone else. So I'm just gonna have everyone. I usually don't have everyone work on it, every city work on it, but um, I don't want to lose out on any bonuses. In 289, so we already got the two the silver and bronze awards because we put in 289 production, and we need 234 to get the silver. So we get 500 points towards the next golden age and a free social policy. If we put in the most out of everyone, we get 100% culture per turn for like we get double this number for 20 turns, which is great. Honestly, it's just a good modifier to have. Yeah, where is he getting all this influence with? Like, I don't have a lot of money to be sending out like trade routes willy nilly. I've never seen like this much influence. Like the AI just like focus this much on city states and like pump that much money into befriending them, or much of anything really into befriending them. It's just okay. Yeah, we won. Belgrade. Go ship. Yeah. I'm actually gonna start trading with city states instead of other civs. And I just realized I shouldn't, because the reason we were trading with other civs was to get the tourism bonus from the trade route modifier. Ah, I'm such an idiot. I was thinking that there's a policy in the freedom tree, like the freedom ideology when we unlock it, that gives you free influence per turn with every city state that you're trading with. Like if you send a trade route to a city state, not a city state to a trade route, you get like 4 influence per turn with that city state. But since we're not going for a diplomatic victory, that's not necessarily that important for us. All right, now we have a factory. Here we can build the public school. Should build Oxford University at some point. That will give us that's a national wonder that gives us a free technology when we research it. We should do with that is pick up either biology or electricity, so we can actually just go ahead and finish that now.
Min vän.
Yeah, we want to continue trading with other civilizations because yeah, okay, yeah, I don't have any buildings that increase trade route yield, so just uh, Raiden. Um, Ideology. So, I mentioned freedom earlier, and so you can pick one of three ideologies. If you are the first person to pick any ideology, you get two free tenets. Uh, two tenets for free. Tenets are basically just social policies, but within an ideology instead of a normal policy tree. Um, Click this little um, magnifying glass. That's the word. To see all the tenets. I haven't improved many of the tenets. I don't think. I think I've touched like a few here in autocracy because I always thought of like autocracy as the weakest of the three. But each of the three has different strengths. You can see these little symbols here. Each tree, each ideology has bonuses towards, or like has, it has bonuses geared towards certain victory conditions. So autocracy, all three of them have bonuses for culture victory. So if we want to go for a culture victory, any one of them is like valid. Any one of them will give us bonuses. Autocracy and freedom have bonuses towards diplomatic victory. That's the little globe with the laurels around it. Autocracy and order have bonuses towards domination victory. That's the swords with the skull and the um, cockade, I guess. And freedom and order have ones towards scientific victory, hence the spaceship. Um, so the way ideologies work is sort of similar to social policies in that there's like an order in which you have to go through the policies, but it's a little bit more loose because there are three levels of tenets. There's level 1 tenets, level 2 tenets, and level 3 tenets. In order to pick any level 2 tenet, you have to have two level 1 tenets. And then to get a level 3 tenet, you have to have two level 2 tenets, which actually requires three level 1 tenets and not four, because if you have two level 1 tenets, you can think of it kind of like a tournament bracket or like a tree, like an upside down, or like a, you know, like a mustard bush, to use like a biblical analogy. You'll see when we actually like pick one, you'll see like how it works out. Excuse me. Um, so Autocracy is very much geared towards these are like, all three of these are kind of themed around like the three major ideologies of like the postmodern era, like World War II specifically. Like autocracy is based on like fascism, freedom is based on democracy, and order is based on communism. So each one has like bonuses kind of themed around those. So autocracy is very like military focused, very like um all of them involve like military units or military infrastructure in some way. Um, like you'll get happiness from military buildings, you get bonuses towards strategic resources, or from military units, you get influence from city states that are afraid of your military, and you know, so on and so forth. Um, Freedom is based around a lot around trade and great people. Um, like a lot of bonuses towards great people, a lot of bonuses towards trade routes and culture. Order is based more on like production and raw yields. Actually, I think all of them have this like policy that gives 25% great people points. It's just like called something different each time. Oh no, that's just order and freedom. Never mind. Um, so the policies, the tenets that matter to us, are the ones that increase benefit culture victory, and all three of them have one level 3 tenet that gives culture victory in some way. Autocracy gives cult of personality, 50% tourism to civilizations fighting a common enemy. So if you are fighting a war against a civilization and someone else is fighting a war against that civilization too, you get 50% production, 50% tourism towards that civilization that is also fighting your enemy. That's, you know, like you can make that work, but it's, I don't know, it's probably like the, like if you're going autocracy, you're probably not going to want to go for culture victory anyway, because you want like the military benefits. You're going to want to go for some kind of military victory. Although I think there's an achievement for getting a culture victory with autocracy. Freedom. 34% tourism generated by cities with a broadcast tower. So if a city has a broadcast tower in it, it gets 30. It gives 30%, 34% more tourism. That's it. Very simple. Order: 34% tourism to civilizations that have less happiness. So that is an interesting mechanic because one of the mechanics behind, or that's an interesting tenet, I should say, because one of the mechanics behind ideologies is that any civilization that chooses an ideology exerts pressure towards other civilizations to choose that ideology. So, like, whatever we pick, we will start pressuring the citizens of the other civilizations to choose whatever we pick. And that doesn't, like, that wouldn't necessarily mean that, like, if we pick freedom, then everyone else is going to pick freedom. It's just that if we pick freedom and they pick order, for example, we're gonna, like, some of their citizens are gonna be upset that, you know, we're in freedom and they're in order, and vice versa. Some of our citizens are gonna be upset that we're in freedom and someone else is in order. Um, However, the amount of pressure, amount of like ideological pressure you exert, I believe, is directly tied to tourism and culture. So the more tourism and culture you have, the more of that pressure you exert on other civilizations. So um, having that tourism scale off of that modifier that in turn scales off of tourism. I believe that's how it works. I believe it scales off of tourism. Like if you have more tourism, like if your tourism you have like a lot of tourism with a certain civilization, you'll put more ideological pressure against that civilization um than like someone you don't have a lot of pressure with. And the way pressure manifests is that the more pressure you put on a civilization that is not in your ideology, they will incur a happiness penalty, and the bigger that happiness penalty will get. Like their citizens like get upset. They're like, hey, we see how good these people are living, in their ideology. How come we're not living that good under ours? Basically like the theory behind it. Like the conceit of it rather. Um, and conversely, the pressure you put on civilizations that share your ideology makes them happier because they can say, "Yeah, we're all we're friends, we're all living the good life together," kind of thing. So, like I said, having that policy where the more tourism you have over someone else who doesn't share your ideology, the or like who are fighting a war or who are just like not very happy, then the more tourism you get with them. It's an interesting mechanic. I don't know how necessarily well it works in practice. As for which ideology I choose, I almost always go freedom, just because a lot of the bonuses in it fit with my play style very well. And I think even though all three ideologies give some bonus towards tourism, I think freedom gives the most bonuses towards it because we get not only a bonus towards great people production, but we also get a bonus towards the culture from our great works, which doesn't give us more tourism from them, but gives us more culture per turn from them, so we can get culture policies faster and have a better defense against other civilizations' tourism. Um, we get specialists consume less food, so we can have more specialists in our cities and have our cities grow faster. Specialists produce half the normal amount of unhappiness. So citizens that are working specialist jobs have like half the happiness penalty of citizens that are not working specialist jobs. I don't think specialists give more unhappiness than citizens working tiles. So like that just makes that just like gives you like you know what I mean. It makes citizens happier if they're working specialist jobs and if they're working in the fields. So like and specialist is how you get to all those great people that give you the great works. So I think we are going to go freedom. After all, we are the Roman Republic. Um, so, uh, since we are the first to pick any ideology, we would get 2 free tenants no matter what. So we get 2 free tenants here in freedom, and they're always the tier 2 tenants. So you can see that like um we would need two level 1 tenets to get this level 2 tenet, but because the tree like is drawn in this way, this tenet will like full double duty, and we only need 3 level 1 tenets to get all the way down to a level 3. Um, so first, well, we get 2, so I'm gonna pick the civil society. Specialists consume half the amount of food, and avant-garde, great people are earned 25% faster across the board. So you can see that didn't really change our growth as much as I thought it would. um, but yeah, you can see now our specialists are no longer costing us as much food. Um, so each pop costs 2 food per turn. You can see here in like the food this menu I'm looking at here in Rome, we're only getting minus 36 eaten per citizen. Even though we have 21 citizens, we should be losing 42 food per turn from food because we have 21 citizens. We're only losing 36 because we have 6 specialists that are eating half the amount of food, so we get 6 food off of that. So we're essentially making 6 food um, from that policy. So yeah, that means we can squeeze more specialists into those slots, and we can also squeeze more specialists into other jobs as well. Also gonna look around, see if there are any more. Doesn't look like there are any more bonuses we can fulfill yet. We have the Uffizi, but that's same era and civilization. We're gonna enter the modern era. Oh no, we're not gonna enter the modern era anytime soon. We're in the industrial era, so hopefully we can get 2 more great artists before this era ends, so we can fulfill that. Excuse me, that condition. Do we already have another industrial era art piece? You. Um, Actually, we can. I assume this is the same deal. Um, yeah. So we could do is we could move both of these up here instead, and we would get this bonus. So now, yeah, same era and civilization. So, um, unfortunately, I don't think we can get two great works of art from the same era and like foreign civilization. So, I just think hopefully that would be easier to get like 2 more. Not necessarily 2 more in the industrial era, but maybe 2 in the modern era when we reach it, and it'll be easier to fulfill that than trying to get 2 more in this era. And if we get 2 more in this era, that's great. But I don't want to have to count on that. Um, anyway, we're almost at archaeology, and you can see since we finished the exploration tree, we can now see hidden antiquity sites. So these are extra opportunities we have to use our archaeologists. Um, aren't too many of them. They are fairly rare. I think just because like they're hidden behind a policy tree, so they don't want to like give players who pick that like a huge advantage. But it's still something we get that no one else who picks exploration will get. Patronage, patronage. Pedro did go exploration as well. So, if he finishes that tree, he'll see those antiquity sites as well. But, what matter to him if he doesn't have the archaeology technology? Fun to say. Archaeology technology. Um, right. We got a great engineer. Okay, so great engineers. I think this is the first great engineer we've gotten all game. Just because there aren't a lot of ways to get great engineer points early on. Similar to Civ 4, you can use them to rush the production of a wonder or a building. The amount of production you get out of a great engineer rush is, I think, proportional to the population of the city or the population of your civilization as a whole, something like that. Um, but you can also use them to put down a tile improvement that gives a lot of production by itself. And I think Ravenna here would benefit from that because it doesn't have a lot of tiles with high production by itself. So yeah, give it a helping hand. Um, Industry. Oh, and since we finished exploration, we get the Louvre, which has 4 slots for great works of art, which is lovely. I build public schools and museums everywhere. Public schools for more science, museums for the art and artifact slots. Open those up wherever they are relevant. I think also the question becomes, where do we want to build the Louvre? And again, I don't think we have any like specific modifiers for like, you know, putting our tourism in specific cities. Like if we were uh well, unmodded France, we would get a tourism bonus from our capital, but I changed how France works in this mod because that bonus is just like unwieldy. I'll explain that when we get to France, probably. Now the next, I think we'll go for universal suffrage here. Specialist cities produce half the normal amount of unhappiness, and golden ages are 50% longer. That'll give us a lot of happiness back, and not only will make it so we get golden ages faster, but when we get golden ages, they will last longer. So, ba-doop-a-doo. How many turns are we from finishing Oxford? Okay, so we are 2 away. I want to grab either biology or electricity for free from that for either the oil or the aluminum and the hydro plants. I think we'll hard research. No, we want to hard research whichever one we want less because we'll get the next one, the other one, in 2 turns for free. Um, and like I said, when you get the opportunity to pick a free technology, you can only pick one you can currently research. So I think I want biology more because we get hospitals, which will give us a bunch of free food, and we get an extra trade route as well as finding out where oil is. So we'll hard research electricity, and then I will beeline for replaceable parts because that will give us freedoms. World Wonder, the Statue of Liberty, which gives +1 production towards every specialist. Then we'll go for railroad. Then for refrigeration, for the hotels, which are very good for tourism. Then for radio, which is another. Should we wait that long for refrigeration and radio? We should definitely go for. Nope. Researching electricity. Go for replaceable parts because we want the Statue of Liberty. I think after that we should just make. We should go for radio because that will give us the broadcast hours, which will give us that bonus for our tier 3 tenant. Then we'll go for refrigeration, which unlocks hotels, which gives us a big boost towards tourism. 50% of the culture from world wonders, natural wonders, and tile improvements is added to the tourism output of the city. And then plus 50% tourism output from great work. So you get a whole heap of extra tourism from hotels. Then we will go for railroad, because we can build railroads and get an extra trade route. Then I think after that we will go for radar, which gives us airports, which is basically another hotel and lets us airdrop units, airlift units, excuse me, from one city to another. Then we'll go for penicillin for the extra trade route and pick up plastics, which gives us research labs. Then we want I think there's anything else in here that goes for tourism. Then we want to go for internet, which just doubles tourism outright. And on the way, we'll pick up telecommunications, which gives us the National Visitor Center, a national wonder that gives 100% tourism output from Great Works. Okay, so if we don't win the game by this point, then we can put this in whatever city has the most tourism, and we'll double the tourism, like double the effects. Like this will give us basically another like hotel and airport effects on top of whatever is already in there, and then we'll just click future check and have it research everything else on the way there. Funny that you can research the internet without researching computers. I don't know how that works. There's a couple of funny things in tech trees where like you can research this technology without necessarily having this prerequisite that seems completely necessary for it to work. Um, but, um, that will be our tech plan moving forward. Hopefully nothing happens that requires us to change plans. Because that was a lot of...
Deveremos prosperar.
You can also use great musicians for like a big like lump of tourism. Like you could send them into enemy other civs territories and use one of their abilities to use the unit's ability to like launch like a huge amount of tourism all at once. But the amount of tourism you get from that burst is proportional to the number of, I think, great works of music you have. So the more great works of music you have, the more tourism you get out of that ability. I would like to build the Louvre in a city that doesn't have a like wonder with great works lots in it already, just for the sake of like giving that city more culture per turn. Maybe Ravenna Mediolanum. Alum's very behind. Annapolis. Take 11 turns to build it there. It would take 8 turns to build here. Take 10 turns to build here. Build here. Take 17 turns to build here. 22 turns to build here. 10 to build here. Yeah, why don't we build it here in Arretium? Prioritize it, just because, doesn't have a wonder. I think also, since we have workshops in every city now, we have the ironwork. We can build the ironworks, which will give a flat +8 production to whatever city we build it in. Production golden sea versus in this city. That's only +2 production. I think we should build that here in Mediolanum because it needs it most. It's not going to have a lot of land tiles to be able to get production from. Oh. You need as much production as you get, buddy, so... So, just gonna continue accruing great works. Once we get some museums built, I will start building some archaeologists. As the way archaeologists works now that we have unlocked them is that you send them over to an antiquity site or a hidden antiquity site, and you have them use their ability start an archaeological dig, and that will take a few turns. And then when it's done, I think I touched on this last episode, but once it's done, you get either an artifact or you can build a landmark improvement. The landmark improvement will give +1 culture. We give +1 culture base and an extra culture per era since whatever era the artifact you would have gotten from the site would have been from. So that sounded confusing. Let me back up a little bit. If you choose to get an artifact from the antiquity site, that will go into either a museum or the Louvre. The Louvre has slots for great works of artifacts, not great works of artifacts. Artifacts. We do have one museum here in Antium, so we can start building archaeologists. I'll just 5. If you choose to build, if you choose to, excuse me, collect an artifact from that antiquity site. I don't know why I'm like suddenly forgetting how to words. Then that artifact, just like any other great work, will have an age tied to it, like an era attached to it, and the era is not based on like when you like unearthed the artifact. Like it's not like if you unearth the artifact in the industrial era, then it will be industrial era artifact. I think it's like fairly arbitrary, and it's just like decided ahead of time. Like when the antiquity site pops up, it has an artifact that is from this era, and the era is just used in theming bonuses. But if you choose to build the landmark instead, then you'll get extra culture from that landmark if the artifact you would have gotten otherwise is very old. So like if you could have gotten an ancient era artifact and it is currently the industrial era, then you will get +4 extra culture from it because it's been 1, 2, 3, 4 eras since the ancient era. You know what I mean? And since we now we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna pick biology for free now from Oxford. Oh, and we did discover oil. Oh, and it's right under our manufacturer. Excellent. So, if you build a great percentile improvement on top of a strategic resource, that counts as having improved that strategic resource. The reason that is the case, and not for luxury resources or bonus resources, is because it's just so that if you build a great percentile improvement and later on in the game there so happens to be a strategic resource revealed underneath it, you don't have to rip up that great person improvement to then improve the strategic resource. The reason it doesn't work for luxury resources is because although luxuries are revealed from the start of the game, so you don't have to worry about them suddenly popping up in an inopportune place. And the reason it doesn't work for bonus resources is because bonus resources are only there to give the tiles more yields. Like if you don't collect them, like if you improve the tile they're on, you don't have deer in your trade network and you can't trade deer between cities. It's not like in Civ 4 where every resource was tradable and every resource gave some kind of bonus to the city outside of the yields from the tiles.
Deveremos prosperar através do comércio?
Oh, that's right, we have another trade route slot now thanks to biology, so we should get another cargo ship and trade with some more
The most precious thing in life is its uncertainty. Leaving something incomplete makes it interesting and gives one the feeling that there is room for growth.
Oh, we got another great engineer. I thought about using a great engineer to rush the production of the Louvre, but I think we're far enough ahead in technology that we don't need to worry about someone sniping that from us. So I think instead I'm going to do what I did with Ravenna and give Mediolanum a nice boost to its production capacity. I think we have enough money to buy a cargo ship, do we? No, not even close. So we'll just queue one up here in Neapolis. running out of things to do with our workers. I think we can. I think I can delete. Now there are no sea resources in Rome's waters that can be improved. So okay. Yeah, I was just momentarily confused because I thought I made it so temples also give culture to wine and incense, like that pantheon and the religious building that do it, but I thought they also gave faith to them, so I was a little confused why our wine only had one faith. Um, so just reminding myself of what changes I made. uh,
Is it a fact, or have I dreamt it, that by means of electricity, the world of matter has become a great nerve, vibrating thousands of miles in a breathless point of time?
I think I mentioned this earlier, but I like the narrator for this game the best out of the technically 4 that have them. Civilization Beyond Earth also has a narrator, but we will probably not be playing Beyond Earth for this channel. If we certainly will be playing it for this meta series because like there aren't any historical civilizations in Beyond Earth. Like France is not in Beyond Earth. Like Rome is not in Beyond Earth. They're like, futuristic, like alternate history, speculative history, really, features. So, we need to pick another level 1 tenant before we can pick anything else. So we will get the extra culture from Great Works because we have a lot of Great Works. That will allow us to get more policies faster. Okay, Oxford has 2 slots for Great Works of Writing, and what its bonus is writings from different areas and from civilizations other than the city owner. So we need to trade Great Works of Writing for this both. The time machine. Give it up. So I think we'll just wait. I think I'll just wait till we get our next great writer before I worry about theming that. Yeah, I guess. Is all our oil though? Dang it. It's the only oil, like, either within or like even remotely close to our territory. Then again, we weren't really using it. Oil is only used in certain late game military units. It's not used by any buildings within this mod, at least. So I have no intentions of going to war. At the very least, I have no intentions of starting a war. Who do I have? I can see I have a trade routes. We only have a trade route with the Netherlands, and who want to get a bonus with? We don't have any bonuses towards Sweden or the Iroquois. Okay, so it looks like some people are sending us trade routes, so we're getting bonuses from that. We don't have open borders with either the Iroquois or Sweden, so we're not getting any bonuses from that, and we're not sending them any trade routes, and they're not sending us any trade routes, so we're not getting any bonuses from that either. So we should send a route to either the Iroquois or Sweden, and from the city we can reach either of them. I think which one we want depends on which one is ahead, which has more culture, and that would be Sweden. We will send a trade route to Sweden. I think they still not. Oh no, they're willing to trade open borders now. Okay, good. Now can we get open borders with the Iroquois? Yes. All right. We have open borders with everyone, so now we're getting a plus 40% tourism bonus towards everyone. Um, this you can just deal with the hospital for the extra growth, then stock exchange for money. Pastures do you have? Actually, have any? Do you? Um, you don't actually have any that like aren't being worked by some other city. Interesting that it that counts. Um, every spices, truffles, citrus. I don't think we have any of those in the city's borders, so and just start building some of the stuff we haven't really had a need for earlier. No, I'm not going to war, buddy. Just yeah.
Mahera Epishaketsip.
I think we have a pagoda in every one of our cities now. Yeah, we can't tell it to automatically build buy pagodas with faith anymore. So that leaves the question of what do we do with our faith now? We have two options. One mechanic I totally neglected to mention, and I'm sorry, is that when you fill out a policy tree, this is not the list of policies. When you fill out a policy tree, you have the option of buying. You are able to buy certain great people with faith once you hit the industrial era. And that's just because that's so you have something to spend your faith on in the industrial era because I think spreading religion becomes much more difficult in the industrial era. Like there's less emphasis on religion in the industrial era and beyond. Um, so that also allows you to get speed up the process of getting great people if you really need one right now. So we could, since we have, finished aesthetics, we can purchase great writers, artists, or musicians. And since we have finished exploration, we can purchase great admirals. We will not need great admirals. Great admirals are only useful for naval combat and nothing else. Because what they do is they give a combat bonus to naval combat units in a certain radius around them, and you can use them for a one-time charge to repair, like, or heal / repair any wounded sea military units in a certain radius. That's all they do. They're only for naval combat, basically. They do nothing else. Liberty, unfortunately, doesn't give us, doesn't allow us to buy any great people, but it does give us the free great people once we finish it. There's also a religious belief if you finish out the piety tree and get choose the policy that gives you a Reformation belief. One of the Reformation beliefs will allow you to buy any great person you want. So, and you can always, if you have a religion, you can always buy a great prophet for faith. I think even before the industrial era, that's like the only great person you can buy before the industrial era with faith. So we can either, now that we have pagodas everywhere, we have our religious building everywhere. We can either buy great artists, musicians, and writers with our faith and get more great works faster than just waiting for the waiting for them to generate naturally. Or we can buy a great prophet and spread our religion to some city states, because quite a lot of city states are asking us to spread our religion to them, and Mogadishu wants us to get a great prophet. So and the great prophets are a lot cheaper, I think. Yeah, they're currently 330. So I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll get a few great prophets, spread our religion to city states, specifically ones that are asking us to. I think now that we have 130 influence here in Cahokia, we can move the spy around. We'll wait the 2 turns for them to finish their doing their work. Where else do we have a spot? Antwerp. We currently ally Antwerp. We're not. Need 26 more influence to surpass Iroquois, so we will keep that spy there. But yeah, I will buy a few great profits and spread our religion to city-states. I could also spread my religion up here because it looks like the only person on this continent to have founded a religion is Willem, because see, none of these other civilizations have religions. And if we spread our religion to them, we get a tourism bonus towards with them, and we also get a relationship bonus with them. They will like us more if they have our religion in a majority of their cities, which is why I think Attila likes us. Because no, that does not affect things in any way. It doesn't. I guess we don't have it in a majority of the cities. We only have it in half of them, which is not a majority. Um, we could spread it to the Netherlands, but they will probably be upset with us because they have founded their own religion. Even though it looks like our religion is putting more pressure on his cities than his own religion is. Sucks to suck, I guess. So I think spreading our religion will behoove us more than buying great artists and musicians. Because it's also worth noting that every time you buy a great person with faith, the next great person gets more. The next great person of that type gets more expensive to buy. So if like you buy a great artist with faith, it costs more to buy another great artist with faith. Then like the cost keeps going up. So gets keeps getting more and more expensive every time you do it. So it's really more of like an emergency thing. Like if you really need like one more great person right now, you can't afford to wait, then you can buy one with faith. But definitely not something you like. I would consider it more of like a crutch play than a strategy to build around. And as for the argument of whether to choose a artifact or a landmark from an antiquity site, I think if the landmark is out of the workable range of a city, then you should always take the artifact. If it's within the workable range, then you should take the landmark if the artifact is really old, because then it will give you a lot more culture from it, and the culture you get from that landmark will be turned into tourism by hotels and airports. If it's not within your territory, then don't build a landmark unless it's within a city-state's territory. Because if you build a landmark within the territory of a city-state, you'll actually get a relationship bonus with them because they like that you basically gave them a bunch of free culture. I don't think there are any antiquity sites within the borders of a city-state on this map right now. So that does not relate to us in any way. But it's within your borders, and it's like would have been an old artifact, or you don't have any room for artifacts, like all of your buildings that could house them are full, then go ahead and take the artifact. I'm gonna send this to Iroquois so we can get that final trade route bonus with them. For this next one, I'm going to go for New Deal. Landmarks and Great Person Improvements produce +4 of the appropriate yield. So this means that, the Great Person Improvements give +4 extra of what they would already give. So the academies from the Great Scientists give +4 extra science. The manufactories from Great Engineers give +4 extra production. Customs houses, I think, are the ones Great Merchants build. Those give +4 extra gold. And holy sites from Great Prophets give +4 extra faith, and then landmarks give +4 extra culture. So yeah, also if you take New Deal, the New Deal tenet from Freedom, then you can also consider building landmarks, because those will give landmarks 4 extra culture yield.
Every genuine work of art has as much reason for being as the earth and the sun.
So funny, the free great artist we got from the Louvre made a painting of Paris, which is where the Louvre is. I don't think that's like hard coded in any way. I think that's just I think it just gives you a random great person, and that was like just so happened to be the random great person to give us. The Red Fort. Here is another wonder I changed. What it did in the original game is it boosted the effect of defensive buildings, like walls, castles, armories. No, armories is a different. That's the extra experience towards military units. The buildings that give your cities extra defensiveness. It used to increase the effect of those, but what I did, is I made it a culturally focused wonder instead. It gives +2 culture towards garden buildings, which would actually behoove us a lot because we have the unique garden, which is why we picked Peace Garden. Which is why I picked the Peace Garden faith belief for our faith. It also gives a culture discount towards adopting social policies. So I think we will build that. We are going to vote no on world religion towards this guy's world religion. The one nay for that, and then one yay for arts funding. Just because if he designated religion as the official world religion, civilizations with a majority of the cities in their empire following your religion get an additional 2 delegates, so additional 2 votes here. Religion spreads 25% faster, and its holy city receives plus 50% tourism. Yeah. I think once we spread our religion to the Huns, Assyria, and Sweden, we should try to get our faith to be world religion, because then because more people will vote for it, because more people will benefit from it. And I don't know why he's trying to push for his religion to become the world religion. It wouldn't even benefit him because only 2 cities on the planet have that religion as the majority religion. So he wouldn't even get the benefit of the extra delegates from it. Alright, so since the elections have been successfully rigged, I'm going to move the spy out of Cahokia and into another state that I would like to, someone I would like to kick the Netherlands out of. I think Mogadishu. Because I guess we didn't have the dies from them long enough to trigger the We Love the King Day. So, I guess like we were just at the threshold where like we had like so little influence over them that like the next turn rolled over, we were no longer allies. So we could get an ancient era Roman artifact, or we could get a landmark improvement that will give +1. Oh, so there's no base culture. +1 culture era older than the Civ's current era. So since it's an ancient era thing, ancient era ruins, so to speak, we would get +1 culture for every era since the ancient era. We'd also get +4 culture flat from the policy, so I think we will take the landmark here instead. Yeah, that's +8 culture. That's more than the... Even if we put the artifact in a museum and got the theming bonus from it, that would still not give us as much culture as this landmark is currently giving us. Here in the Louvre, yeah, make sure great works slots are filled with 2 great works of art and 2 artifacts, with all 4 being from different eras and different civilizations. So that's a pretty challenging ask right there. I think we can get the 2 great works of art easily, but getting 2 great 2 artifacts is very difficult because the AI I have found generally, at least that Prince doesn't like do a very good job of hunting down artifacts bots. So try to think it's very rare to get a Renaissance era artifact, so I think we're safe trading for a Renaissance era work of art. Yeah, so we have half of it at least. Same era, same civilization. So yeah. So like this antiquity site, I would not turn into a landmark because it's not within the borders of our city. In fact, it would be within the borders of Rio de Janeiro once Rio expands to it. And I don't want to give him any more culture. So I would just turn that into an artifact, even if it's not a great artifact.
Mahera epishaketsip.
Either even if it's not an artifact that would. Oh yeah, the World of Religion failed. Okay, so he voted 3 times for it, and 3 other people voted nay for it, so that failed. And everyone who voted for arts funding voted yes for it, so we didn't need to worry about that. We got even more great people. But definitely premature to try to propose our world religion because we're the only ones that would benefit from it, and we wouldn't have the support we would need to get it. Like no one else would vote for it because no one else would benefit from it. And residents, civilizations, research technology 20% more quickly if it's discoverability smaller civilization. So this is like a catch-up mechanic for people who are behind. You can also see if you hover over most certain proposals, you will see who will be happy or angry if you propose it. You will get like a certain relationship bonus or malice with those civilizations. Historical landmarks, the AI never votes for this, and they will always be angry if you propose this. Because I think it's just hard coded that the AI hates this proposal for some reason. Because the AI, I've noticed the AI never uses great percentile improvements or landmarks. So like they never benefit from it. I've also noticed that they never vote for natural heritage sites either. I think they always vote it down, even though like it would, it would behoove them because it just improves natural wonders. But so I would only like, as much as these would benefit you, the player, I would only propose these if you have like a total command of like if you have more votes than everyone else combined, because you are not getting it through unless you are you have total command of the World Congress. I'm going to click a proposal and then I'm going to call the episode here. Going to I'm just going to go for that Scholars of Residence because it will at least make Sweden like us. So, with all of that done, I'm going to call this episode here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the episode, please leave a like and a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Doing all those things tells the YouTube algorithm gods that you like my content and you want other people to see it. And having other people see it will get me ever closer towards being able to do this full time and being able to make more content for all of you guys. And as always, be good, stay safe, and I will see you all next time.